This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.
I'll start out by saying that as an American in the UK in September 2016, I will answer the question that I know I will be cornered about. No, I have no idea, and God help us. So, in the US, our methodology for ratings is called PPM, and PPM is like tea leaves. You can look at it, and if you are a selector geek, you can certainly see evidence that supports your way of programming. If you're like me and like to toss midgets out of helicopters, there's definitely evidence that that works too. PPM has taught us a couple of things. The first is that even incentivized, very few people want to wear 1980s style drug dealer pagers on their belt. It hasn't taught us what brings people in, but it's taught us what drives people away. And this is shocking. I would never have figured this out, but long blathering talk breaks drive people away. That right there is worth PPM. Which is why in the US, a lot of times when they're looking for talent, they will say we're looking for somebody who is PPM friendly. I am not PPM friendly. I've continued to break myself of this habit, and it's been unsuccessful, and now I'm being timed. I have a finite amount of time to present some ideas. So I'm wearing an electric dog shock collar. All ideas seem great conceptually. I've talked to Kate. Kate seems to be the least sadistic person in the room.
How's it work?
Okay. If I go longer than 60 seconds, hit number 1.
Okay.
If you hit number 2, I will go number 2. If you hit number 3, decades of work by psychiatrists and chemicals will be immediately reversed.
Okay.
And if you hit number 4, the power grid to Liechtenstein will go out.
Okay.
Number 1. And if you even...
Can I try it now?
No! So we're going to start with 17 or 18 ideas. Live Eye. The Fugitive, we know, is a promotion where we try to find an individual who is on the streets based on audio clues. Live Eye is taking an iPhone, putting it in your pocket or in the mesh of a backpack, streaming through Ustream to the station site, and finding an individual based on live, real-time video. In DC, as Mr. Diven had talked about, we have a YouTuber as the night talent. Her name's Elizabethany. She's nuts, which is why she's so good. She did Periscope for a Pair, which was her sitting in a park with a tablet seemingly working, and you found her based on the panorama that you were able to see. Beat ya. Pumpkin drops. If you look at the first couple segments or years of David Letterman, he was into throwing shit off buildings. It seemed to work for him. I like this because there's a visual payoff, but you still have to listen to the radio. And I know I'm old school that way, but I think it's good. In the case of Halifax, they filled a pumpkin with several hundred golf balls, all numbered, and dropped it from a crane. The golf ball furthest from the target won a trip to the Playboy Mansion on New Year's Eve. TV loves this shit. Losing a digit. You can only do this once. Anytime you mess with the way you present the name of the radio station, it will get people's attention. So in the case of the station in Dallas, we flipped the website for a day. And it activated people. People called us, what's going on? And we said, we outsourced it to India. We're going to fire all these people. If you lose the digit of a radio station, become, say, Power 96, the number 1 CHR in Miami for 30 years, becoming Power 9 in all of their imaging, everything online. They took it off the vehicles. It got people's attention. Find the person who stole it, recover it, win $10,000. Live with. As a promotion director, I was lazy. I always like to have the listeners market for me. So giving a selected group of 20 or 30 listeners cutouts of the morning show to carry with them everywhere they go, job interviews, selling plasma, whatever you do, carry it with you. Earn points. Get a photo of you in the lobby of the competition, earn 300 points. Listeners on the streets can win daily prizes for catching you in snapping and posting and hashtagging. Or in Calgary, we found 20 people and put them in pink jumpsuits for 30 days. This will get people's attention. The prize was $5,000 and a trip to see Pink in Australia. It was a wonderful, wonderful way of doing, see, I'm doing good.
You're good. I want a zap.
Oh, bitch. Oh, okay. If you have people wandering the streets of your market wearing pink bodysuits, it will get people's attention.
Oh, it's close.
What I've discovered is that men can go out and do misogynistic things on our own whim. Women, you have to kind of create events or excuses or experiences. So in the case of San Francisco, after 10 years of multiple morning shows, we realized that the real franchise of the station was Renee, the midday talent. So one time, we tried the Bachelor Night Out. 2,000 of her favorite listeners and 50 male strippers. It was one of those things where the next day we had to get together and all look at each other and went, holy crap. They do it quarterly. In the case of Rochester, New York, they do Dear Widow's Ball, the one weekend where all the men in Rochester go out and shoot deer, party for the women. In the case of Calgary, they flew a plane of listeners to Las Vegas for the night. 50 women, the women from the air staff. Ah, shit. I can't talk no more. They flew to Las Vegas. They got there at 7 p.m. They got hammered. They returned to work soaking. Shit. Okay, I'm moving. Exotic Erotic Ball. This was an idea that was co-opted from the sex industry's Halloween party in San Francisco. It is a Halloween party. Every establishment that sells liquor is going to have a Halloween party. So you need a hook. The hook in this case, huge cash prizes. If you have huge cash prizes, you get the professional costume people, followed by naughty prizes. In Tampa, in the 3 days after the Exotic Erotic Ball, they got 1.8 million web views, which seems to support my premise or theory that semi-nudity works on the internet. Closest to the Pinhead. Taking a morning DJ, putting him out on a golf course, having listeners hit golf balls at him. This is the reason I chose not to go into medicine. The person who was closest to him, without hitting him, won a trip. Closest to the Pinhead. Lick It for Tickets. A great web contest. Every day you give out a theme. Tools, vegetables, automobiles, toilet seats. Every day, take a photo of yourself, and that's a million fetishes rolled into one. Take a photo of yourself licking something, hashtag, post, share. Random people win the prize. Gas Wars. We have prizes available to us that nobody in the real world will ever get to go to. Nobody will ever get to meet an artist. So what you do is you offer the opportunity to, say, to meet Justin Bieber to the gas station owner who will sell gas for the cheapest price. In Minneapolis, we got it down to negative 10 cents a gallon. You got 10 gallons of gas and $1. Ha! Charging stations, very simple. We're always looking for excuses for people to stop at our events. We want them, especially in PPM, we want them to stop for a few minutes, be bombarded by our audio, and charge, and we can overthink pricing. Giving people electricity at an event works. The one on the left was built by the promotion director in his garage. I'm watching you. Photos set up for concerts. As a promotion director, I loved concerts because how often do you get 18,000 people? There's 2 ideas in this, so I get 2 minutes.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, a little later I'll put this on you. We'll talk, okay?
I might have to have a choice in that.
No. I've always liked concerts because, again, when do you have the opportunity to market yourself to all these people? What you find with most radio stations is they'll have their prize wheel or they'll have something else out there. In 2016, what people want is they want a place to get their photo taken. And this isn't necessarily rocket science. So Dierks Bentley was playing St. Louis. He had a song about drinking on a plane. So the show, or the station built a setup with seats from an airplane and flight attendants. Quote balloons. In Miami, they use those. Stand, get your photo taken with one. Ah, shit! I was supposed to have 2 minutes. Okay. And the one on the left, let me finish this one. The one on the left, shit, this hurts. The one on the left was the promotion director in Miami built a seat for The Voice. They had Maroon 5 coming in. For $30, he stole a seat out of a garbage can and built this. And it was amazing. He had long lines of people who wanted to get their photo taken care of. When you're at events, you want long lines of people. Much like this. VIP. For large events, and especially the women know this, by about noon, the porta potties are functified. So in the case of Seattle, Seafair is a huge event. We got our own porta potty, gave away VIP passes, and you got access to it. No lines. It was like Planet Hollywood. They had designer fragrances there. They had some candies and stuff. Again, we can overthink pricing. Plus, it was a nice hook. Name change. You can only do this once. But you will find situations where there will be a child in the community who needs to be spotlighted. In this case, it was a kid who was paralyzed in a hockey game. It was the #1 news story in the region. They changed for one day. People who had never heard of this radio station had changed their profile photo. In the case of Washington, D.C., in the case of Washington, D.C., it was a girl named Rachel who had leukemia. And somebody at the station had spotted that all of her classmates were going out and doing swabbing to find her a bone marrow transplant. So for one day, Hot 95.5 in Washington, D.C. became Rachel 95.5. And they swabbed close to 100,000 people at locations around town. You can only do it once, but it's an amazing thing. It's the stuff that Sirius can't do. And we find ourselves in situations where we try to out-Sirius. You can't. This is the stuff that wins. Win a baby. If they had said, 5 couples were looking for one who's having fertility problems and you will win a $17,000 in vitro fertilization prize, it wouldn't have been as successful as this. And by the way, when you went to the website and clicked on it, the next image was of a little black baby. And it said, actual baby may vary. At the very end, all 5 couples were in the studio. They had cameras on them all. And they announced the winner. All 5 couples. For the next year, they were able to do post-promotion and announce new babies. It was really an amazing, great feel-good. The last contest, the biggest contest in U.S. history, it was named the last contest for no reason other than that the biggest movie in the country at the time was The Last Picture Show. It's a promotion also done as Last Prize Standing, where we take $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and make it sound like $100 million. You sit down with a case of beer and a shock collar, and we come up with all these prizes. What can we buy for $10,000? What can we, no, I'll do it. Go ahead. Ah, shit. Did you notice that? I'm just having flashbacks to 3rd grade, stuff I forgot. You sit down and you come up with all these prizes. What we've done in 2016 is we've dumbed down stuff like winning $10,000. So in the case of the last contest, prize pack number 216. Win thousands and 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 thousands of dollars in cash. Instead of saying win a cherry red Corvette, it was a 60-second sexy description of this car and what effect it would have on your life. It was absolutely amazing. And the winner was going to get a pick of all those packages. When they finally did it, it shut down phone service to 40% of San Diego. Skydiving. We've so successfully dumbed down contesting that we can't get more than 7% of people to play. In the case of Houston, they had a car to give away. So we gave away 95 grids on the ground, and Sarah, the morning show, Sarah Pepper. What an amazing name, Sarah Pepper. Sky dove in. If she landed in your grid, you won the car. Note, she asked what would happen if the parachute didn't open. I said the person who had the largest chunk of her land in their grid, and plus we'd name a studio after her, which is what we always do. I love to steal shit. I paid a security guard in Minneapolis to steal the toilet seat from Katy Perry's bathroom and give it away. Again, 1,000 fetishes in one contest. Sleep with Mariah Carey. First of all, who hasn't? Second of all, in the case of San Francisco, I got the hotel to give me her bed after she checked out. We replaced it with a traded out bed. You know that somewhere in the Bay Area, I'm taking this off now, you know that somewhere in the Bay Area, there's somebody who has her bed and still brags about it. Years ago, I stole a pizza box from a production room at a New Kids on the Block concert. Got on the air the next day and said, we're giving away Little Joe's pizza box. It might have been, who knows. Phones exploded, and somewhere in the Carolinas, 25 years later, there's a middle-aged woman with a greasy pizza box in her closet. Sleep with is amazing. Bon Jovi did it. You got the autographed bed sheets off his bed. There's any number of different ways to do it. And that was my session. I came out 2 minutes short.
This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.